chilling moment. Anti-war female assassin carries explosive-laden statue into St. Petersburg cafe before handing it to Putin blogger who was then killed in blast, as FSB arrests her for assassination.
The female anti-war activist suspected of assassinating one of Vladimir Putin's propagandists by carrying a statue laden with explosives into a cafe has today been arrested. Vladimir Tatarsky, whose real name is Maxim Fomin, was blown to pieces yesterday after Daria Trepova, 26, reportedly entered the cafe in St. Petersburg and handed him a small statue of himself that was reportedly laden with explosives. Tatarsky, 40, a staunch supporter of Putin and his invasion of Ukraine, had been speaking at a political event at the Street Food No. 1 cafe when the bomb exploded next to him, killing the propagandist and injuring 32 others. Now, Russia's investigative committee today said they had detained Trepova in a rented flat in St. Petersburg on suspicion of carrying out the assassination. Her partner, Dmitry Rylov, insisted she had been set up. It came after video appeared to show Trepova, a St. Petersburg resident who had been previously detained for taking part in anti-war rallies, walking into the cafe carrying a box containing what may have been statuette containing 450 grams of TNT, just minutes before it exploded. The Russian Interior Ministry had this morning put Trepova on Russia's wanted list on suspicion of murdering Tatarsky after she fled from the scene, but she was arrested within hours of the arrest warrant being released. Trepova's partner, Dmitry Rylov, also in his 20s and a member of the so-called Russian Liberation Army, insisted that she had been set up. Rylov, who had previously been detained at anti-war rallies in Russia, said today, "I believe that my wife was set up. I am in full confidence that she would never be able to do something like that on her own volition. Yes, with Daria we really do not support the war in Ukraine, but we believe that such actions are unacceptable. I am 100% sure that she would never have agreed to such a thing if she had known." According to him, she completely misunderstood the purpose of the statuette she gave to Tatarsky. The plot thickened further after Russian investigators said they had identified a second female suspect, Maria, 40, as being involved in the blast. She is reportedly in hospital in St. Petersburg following the bombing. Witnesses said that Trepova asked questions and exchanged remarks with Tatarsky during the discussion inside the cafe. One witness, Alisa Smatrova, said the woman who identified herself as Nistya told Tatarsky that she had made a bust of the blogger but that guards asked her to leave it at the door, suspecting it could be a bomb. Nistya and Tatarsky joked and laughed, and then she went to the door, grabbed the bust and presented it to Tatarsky. He reportedly put the bust on a nearby table, and the explosion followed. Smatrova described people running in panic, some hurt by shattered glass and covered in blood. Images from inside the cafe appear to show Trepova handing Tatarsky a bust of himself before she began walking back to her seat. Tatarsky stopped her, and asked her to sit next to him, a witness claimed, adding that she said she was shy and didn't want to sit too close. Trepova had a ticket for a flight from Pulkovo Airport in St. Petersburg last night following the blast, but she did not show up for it, reports Izvestia. The direction of the flight was not reported, but there were suggestions she aimed to reach Georgia via Turkey. Investigators searched Trepova's flat but she was not found, while her mother was reportedly taken from the home and taken to a police station. A report by Telegram channel VCKOGPU claimed it had access to Trepova's private web exchanges with a friend in a secret web chat. This suggested she had come to St. Petersburg from Moscow late last week and intended to fly abroad, to Tbilisi, capital of Georgia, via Istanbul. Trepova, a former shop worker in St. Petersburg, reportedly had breakfast with her friend yesterday. After the explosion, Trepova reportedly messaged her friend to say, "I could have died there, I'd rather have died there, I was set up." Military bloggers and patriotic commentators immediately pointed a finger at Ukraine and compared the bombing to the killing last August of Daria Dugina, a nationalist TV commentator. She was killed when a remotely controlled explosive device planted in her SUV blew up as she was driving on the outskirts of Moscow. Russian authorities blamed Ukraine's military intelligence for Dugina's death, but Kyiv denied involvement. Wagner chief Yevgeny Prigozhin admitted he had owned the cafe where the explosion killed Tatarsky. "I have indeed passed the cafe to a patriotic movement called Cyber Front Z," he said. "They were doing various seminars there. It is indeed similar to the murder of Daria Dugina, daughter of a Putin ideologue who was killed aged 29 last year in a car explosion. I would not blame the Kyiv regime for it. I think it was a group of Ukrainian right-wing radicals who did it, which is unlikely to be linked to the government." Police told RBC Media that the explosion was at a height of 60 centimeters from the floor, adding that the bomb contained between 300 to 450 grams of TNT. The explosion was to the right of Tatarsky, police added. One report said that security in the cafe, where Tatarskin was taking part in a seminar, had stopped Trepov bringing the statuette into the meeting because it was feared to be an explosive. A witness said, "The girl who brought the figurine was sitting a little further away from me, and when she started talking about all this, she said that they didn't let her in at the entrance. She said they had said there could be a bomb. She said exactly that. She literally asked, Tatarsky, for permission, allow me to bring it in anyway. And Vladilin says, bring in it. We will check if there is something inside." Those were his words. A video shows Tatarsky vowing the destruction of Ukraine. He said, "We'll conquer everyone, we'll kill everyone. We'll loot whoever we need to, and everything will be just as we like it." Some Russian outlets immediately blamed the Ukraine authorities for the blast, but it is unclear for now if this was the case. The pro-Putin Speaker of the Russian Senate Valentina Matvienko said, "Vladilin wrote the truth. He wrote simply, brightly. As a result he became a target for our enemies, who are afraid of the strength of our spirit, our people's will. And Vladilin not only fought in the militia, collected hope for our soldiers, but, most importantly, he formed the people's understanding of the special operation. And I'm sure he did a lot for our future victory."
This is the moment Tatarsky was handed a statuette that is believed to have been hiding the bomb that exploded at street food bar number 1. Russian investigators said they had identified a second female suspect, Maria Yurin, 40, pictured as being involved in the blast. She is reportedly in hospital in St. Petersburg following the bombing. An image shows Daria Trepova on Russia's wanted list as published by the Interior Ministry. She was later arrested on suspicion of murder.